Namaste everyone. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Deva Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Dhanvantarim Pashapatim Girijam Ganesham Natva Dhuna Charaka Shasratapag Bhatadin Smitva Vishaguruvara Nefishka Samidhan Vila Chandra Charanan Purnatasmi Shashwat. Namaste. Heartiest greetings to all on this auspicious fourth day of the 7-day national workshop on Ayurveda science in the Indian knowledge system. I extend my heartfelt greetings and congratulations to our distinguished speaker, Dr. J. Prasad sir, Devoda Panda sir, and Dharan Guruji, and faculty members, research scholars, and dear participants who have joined us today. Now, I would li- like to warmly invite our respected principal, sir, Dr. Shubham Supran, principal of Kulti College, Asansol, West Bengal, to kindly deliver a few words for 4 days of the workshop. Sir.
Good evening, everyone. We are on the fourth day of the seven-day workshop on Ayurvedic science in Indian knowledge system, organized by the Department of Sanskrit in collaboration with IQAC. In the previous 3 days, we have learned about the knowledge, concept, and scope of Indian knowledge system and Ayurveda science. In the second day, the historical aspects of Ayurveda science has been discussed. And in the third day, we have learnt about the classical text and the Acharya of Ayurveda science. Here, we are in the fourth day to learn about Ayurvedic psychology. On behalf of Kulti College, I specially welcome Dr. J. Prasad sir, Professor, Department of Sanskrit Studies, University of Hyderabad. Today's analyst is Dr. Devabrata Panda sir, Rajiv Gandhi Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital, Puducherry. And today, concluding remarks will be delivered by Dr. K.E. Dharanidharan sir. I welcome all the resource persons for today's workshop and all the respected delegates to enlighten about Ayurveda psychology today. I heartily welcome all the participants of this workshop and expect a eventful and memorable discussion at the end. Welcome again on behalf of Kulti College. And now over to Shubhankar.
Thank you, sir. We are deeply honored to have among us today our distinguished speaker, respected Dr. J. Prasad sir, Department of Sanskrit Studies, University of Hyderabad, Telangana, India. He is a scholar in the field of Nyaya, Ayurveda, and Sanskrit literature. तो इसमें मैं थोड़ा सा हिंदी में बोलूंगा सर के बारे में. तो सर जो है हार्ड टाइम टीचिंग रिसर्च और एकेडमिक काम के लिए बिजी रहता है. तो उसके बाद में सर हमारा भी उपस्थित है, इसलिए मैं सर को हार्दिक धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करता हूँ. मुझे लगता है सर के बारे में कुछ कहना आवश्यक है. सर के साथ मुझे कुछ समय तक काम करने का सौभाग्य मिला है. उस अनुभव के आधार पर मैं कह सकता हूँ जैसे सर अत्यंत छात्रोप्रिय है और विभाग के डेवलपमेंट के लिए हर टाइम सर निरंतर परिश्रम कर रहा है। सर ऐसे व्यक्तित्व के धनी है जिसके पास हर प्रकार की समस्या का समाधान उपलब्ध रहता है। सर के बारे में जितना भी कहा जाए उतना भी बहुत काम है। मुझे सबसे आश्चर्य का बात लगता है जब मैं रात में भोजन करने के लिए सर के रूम के सामने से कैंटीन जाता था, तब मैं देखता था सर छत्र कल्याण हेतु निरंतर काम करते थे। उसके बाद जब मैं फिर से कैंटीन से भोजन करने के बाद जब मैं वापस लाता हूँ तो अभी मैं देखता हूँ सर काम करते थे। तो आज ऐसा महान व्यक्तित्व वाले सर हमारा बीच पाकर न केवल मैं इस कार्यशाला में उपस्थित सभी प्रतिभागी सौभाग्यशाली और धन्य है। मैं सर के प्रति निवेदन करता हूँ आपके विषय उपस्थित करने के लिए सर।
परतत्वामृतासार वर्षिणीम अतिहर्षिणीम श्री वेणुगोपाल कृष्णाख्य मूर्ति मार्तिहराम स्तुमः. A very good evening to all the distinguished delegates here. Especially, I am very happy and pleased to see my Guruji here, Professor K. Dharanidharan sir. Whatever so generously our friend Dr. Shubhankar ji, a young friend, has introduced about me, none of these qualities are mine. In fact, these gurus have shaped, whatever I am today. So he encouraged me a lot while I was a student. I remember my journey to Kashi, where he guided me to participate in a competition. I got a national medal over there. Since then, his blessings continued even till today. That's why I am very much indebted to my Guruji and my other Guruji, Professor K. Devanathanji, and all my Gurus for what I am today. Shabdaha vastutaha nyunaha eva tatra vacha uktum ateva kevalam kartajyam pranipatam nivedayami ityeva tatra mama etasya prarthana asti. I am very much happy to know that the Kulti College has been organizing this 7-day workshop, and I thank Principal Sir and Vice Principal Sir for inviting us here and encouraging young faculty like Dr. Shubhankar to organize these kind of wonderful events that really enriches the academic environment in the college and inspiration to the students and others also. So I'm really grateful for this wonderful gesture by the authorities of the Kulti College. I really thank them. And now coming to the lecture title, I've been asked to speak about the Ayurvedic psychology. Psychology, let us try to understand briefly what exactly these two terms convey, Ayurveda and psychology. First of all, let us try to understand what is Ayurveda. Then let us talk about psychology in general. Then let us talk about Ayurvedic psychology so that some clarity, I think, we may derive from the discussion. Later on, I think we can interact with each other. But sometime I will speak and, I'm actually using some of my old notes here. So somehow I'm using a computer which I can't share the PPT here. Maybe I think I can speak it. Using these notes. Is it fine, Dr. Shubhankar?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So when we think about the science called Ayurveda, hitahitam sukham dukkham ayustasya hitahitam manancha tacha yatroktam Ayurveda savuchyate. This is the definition given by Charaka in Charaka Samhita. Hitayu, ahitayu, sukhayu and dukkhayu. These four types of ayu have been mentioned, which are socially beneficial life, psychologically beneficial life. Like this, two types of categories have been mentioned under the definition of Ayurveda. What is Ayurveda? You have to mention this. Hitahitam Sukham Dukkham. Sukhayu Dukkhayu. Hitayu Ahitayu. Ahitayu is opposite to Hitayu. Dukkha is opposite to Sukhayu. Like this, a broad definition is given by the Acharyas in the Samhitas. And essentially, what important in the science is the when you talk about the Prakriti is the constitution of a person. Prakriti is in fact three types. So that is the dosha Prakriti, then the bhuta Prakriti, then the guna Prakriti. Dosha Prakriti is based on the three doshas. Vata, Pitta and Kapha. These are the three doshas as the fundamental pillars of the science called Ayurveda. Vagati Gandhanayoho, Pitati Tapasantape, Pitati Pittam, Kena Jalena Phalati Kapaha. Like this, the definitions are given by the Acharyas for the three doshas. And dosha exists in the human body. They represent roughly, approximately air, fire, and water elements. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, respectively. So, each of these dosha possesses its own physiological characteristics that overlap with some psychological traits. That's an interesting point here. In modern psychology, we don't see this kind of, foundational theories where the psychology is also based on physiology. Because I was trying to inform about there are three kind of prakritis: dosha prakriti, bhuta prakriti, and guna prakriti. All of us are well aware that as per Indian philosophy, the Pancha Mahabhutas are the five gross elements out of which all these things have been originated. Sarvam Dravyam Panchabhautikam Asmin Ardhe, as mentioned by Charaka and Charaka Samhita. Everything that exists in this world is the outcome of the conglomeration of the five gross elements. So each of the bhutas represent doshas. So Prithvi, Jala, Tejo, Vayu, Akasha. In modern terminology, instead of using these terms, if you use the oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen kind of words, I think the people from the modern science may be able to appreciate what exactly we speak. So that way, conceptually, there is a similarity between the theories, some of the theories, not all, and we can able to convey these ideas, ancient Sastric ideas, into their language using their own language. So the Vata is represented by Akasha and Vayu. The Agni is represented by the Pitta, and the Jalam and the Prithvi, these are represented by the Kapha. This is the Bhuta Prakriti. So Bhuta Prakriti is giving rise to Dosha Prakriti, Vata, Pitta, Kaphas. Again, this gives rise to Guna Prakriti. So this is called Manasa Prakriti essentially in Ayurveda. So Trigunas being the substratum here, they form this trio called Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. These are the integral part of the Gana Prakriti. So as we see in Sankhya, all three are the qualities of the fundamental nature. As part of the evolution, they have mentioned this. The universe is the outcome of the association of Trigunas. So the Daivik Shesha, Gunamayi, etc. kind of passages from Gita we can quote here. According to Ayurveda, these are the integral constituents of the mind, and the state of Sattva. The state of Sattva is the pure state of mind, which is called Shuddha Manasam. Shuddha Manasam. Sattva means mind in Ayurveda. That is why one of the therapies or the treatments mentioned for the diseases is Sattvavajaya, the psychotherapy. So Sattva means mind here. So Rajas and Tamas contaminate the mind. In fact, this is unanimously accepted by the philosophers in Indian context. Vayu Pittam Kapaschedi Shariro Dosha Sangrahaha. When we talk about the doshas of the body, Vayu, Pittam, Kaphacheti, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, these three are the doshas of the body. Manasa Punaruddhishto, Rajascha, Tam Evacha. When we talk about the doshas of the mind, it is about these two, Rajas and Tamas. And Manas, this Sattvam, this Shuddha Sattvam here, which is not generating any vikara, any disease. When the ease is gone, that becomes a disease. So the disease state is given only by these two called Rajas and Tamas. In fact, they are the blemishes of the mind, we can say. That is how these three prakritis have been explained in Ayurveda. So when we come to the discussion on prakriti, having discussed about the fundamentals which is causing this prakriti, why prakriti is important? Prakriti is important because status of health directly depends upon the balanced state of body components. And lifespan of any individual depends upon his or her own prakriti. So prakriti assessment is very important for knowledge of disease process, because when you talk about health, automatically another concept called disease comes into picture. When you talk about disease, health is inevitable to be discussed. So they are together always. So prognosis or the diagnosis depends upon the interaction of normal doshas which are affecting as causative factors of the disease, which is called as nidana in Ayurveda. Nidana. So nidana parivarjanam, always Shastrakaras say in the Samhitas, when you are dealing about any disease condition, what you need to do? Nidana parivarjanam. Root out the cause. That is how we can avoid, you can completely cure the disease. So every substance in this world has its own prakriti, and it acts according to the specific characters. So it is important to know the basic characters before applying it in any healthcare kind of managements. So continuing further, why prakriti is important, there are a few more points here. The quality and quantity of diet shall always lead to equilibrium of dosha and dhatus in the body. There are, as we have seen, three doshas are there, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. There are 7 dhatus mentioned in Samhitas. Rasa, Rakta, Mamsa, Medo, Asti, Majja, Shukra. They are rather the tissues in the body in modern terminology. So the diet of an individual should be prescribed to maintain balanced state and should be conducive to preservation of health. So when there is a dosha dushya samurchana, then the state of health is gone, state of disease already have came. So this is how we need to understand the importance of prakriti, which is nothing but the sharira prakriti. In fact, at the time of the conception of the fetus, prakriti is formed. Much before the delivery, when gradually the fetus is developing in the womb of the mother, the prakriti is decided. So this is the deha prakriti, which is mentioned in the Sutrasthana of Charaka Samhita. Because psychology reads physiological aspects also, that is why we have been trying to understand the fundamentals. Then we can think about some of the intricate concepts of psychology. So these types of basic constitution are assessed upon specific characteristics shown by dominant doshas. Of course, prakriti is also dependent on karma, as we see in Ayurveda. Because Kshetriya, the person is said to be, this Kshetriya is born with a karma bond. Based on one's own karma, we get our own prakriti. There are 7 prakritis, essentially Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Vata, Kapha, Pitta, Kapha, and uh, Vata, Kapha. Out of these 7, 3 prakritis are not possible in this present times. Vata alone, Pitta alone, Kapha alone are not possible at all. They are actually belonging to previous ages rather, because the Ayurvedic science is thousands of years old. We can say at least it is having 5,000 years of history, at least 5,000 years, because Ayurveda is an Upaveda. We cannot date the Vedas. Of course, there are several versions of dating of the Veda by several scholars. I think that is, I don't subscribe to these ideas. Anantavai Veda. That is why this is an Upaveda, which is having at least 5,000 years of history. And it is having evidence-based approach, not simply the theory. It is a practical science, which has been written based on the practicals, laboratory experiments also. So, continuing about the importance of the Prakriti, yeah, the time of the union of the sperm and ovum also matters about the Prakriti. Diet and lifestyle of the mother is also decides the fate of the Prakriti, and at the same time, interaction of the Mahabhutas. Like this, the Garbha, the fetus, is generated in the womb of the mother based on several factors, thus giving rise to the concept called Prakriti. So, in fact, as we see in Sankhya, they who talk about the Tanmatras, Panchatanmatras, Ayurveda also has considered these theories. In fact, Panchamahabhut Siddhanta, Karyakarana Bhava, Pramanas, Swabhava, Uparamavada, many such things which are core philosophical in nature have been directly taken, directly can be seen in Ayurveda. We cannot say whether it is a contribution of Darshana to Ayurveda or Ayurveda has contributed to Darshana. But one clue is that since it is an Upaveda, probably from Ayurveda only, these things have been derived by Acharyas of other philosophical schools. There is one possibility. I think that is a point of discussion. So the Shabda Tanmatra, Sparsha Tanmatra, Rupa Tanmatra, Rasa Tanmatra, and Gandha Tanmatra, these 5 Tanmatras, Buddhi and Avyakta, Ahankara, these are the 8 sources of creation, as also said in Gita. So this is Ashtabhuta Prakriti, known as the basic source of creation. Because I was just telling, all these things are as it is available in Ayurveda Samhitas, not only in Sankhya or some other philosophical schools. That is the strength of this medical system, because it is standing, the entire edifice of Ayurvedic science, medical science, is standing on the edifice of Darshana. Unfortunately, majority of scholars, especially Sanskrit scholars, did not pay attention to this wonderful information available in Ayurveda. So I think there is much more to learn from Ayurveda also, on par with other darshanas. So this is how they talk about this Ashtabhuta Prakriti. Then Bhuta Prakriti anyway we have seen. And when we come to Guna Prakriti is essentially Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Guna Prakriti governs the individual's behavior, individual emotions or tendencies, and mental strength. Entire this thing is governed by this 3 gunas. This is the psychological constitution, as we see in the Indian philosophy as well as in the Ayurveda. So, but here one point we need to understand: unless we know what is mental health, we cannot adequately define what is mental illness. That is the most interesting point here. And here, Manas has Manas is classified into 3 types. 3 types. It is, as I said earlier, it is called Sattvam. Manas is Sattvam. when we translate this to in language like English, you call it as mind. Mind is an approximate term to manas. You cannot say manas is equal to mind. That is why it is used about sattva, shuddha sattva, rajasa sattva, and tamasa sattva. Trividham kalu sattvam, shuddham, rajasam, tamasamiti, as Charaka says. And it is Shuddha Sattva is in fact faultless. There are no blemishes. Shuddha Sattvam is associated with auspicious qualities which are called Kalyana Amshas. Shuddha Sattvam is having Kalyana Amshas. Rajasa Sattvam is considered flawed because it is associating with bad qualities like anger, agitation, and so on and so forth, which is essentially called Rosha. Roshamsha is predominant in Rajasa Sattva. And Tamasa Sattva is also flawed because Manasa Punaruddhishto Rajasya Tamayevacha, as we have seen earlier. Tamasa Sattva is also flawed as it involves delusion and ignorance, which is nothing but moha. So Shuddha Sattva, Rajasa Sattva, Tamasa Sattva. Shuddha Sattva is faultless, Rajasa and Tamasa, they are flawed. So the whole Shuddha Sattva is wholesome. Remaining lead to mental imbalances. Any psychological imbalances are happening due to the problems, the imbalances in the Rajas and Tamas. But there is one scientific interpretation that we need to understand here. I shall quote my our Swamiji here from his text called Trailokya Gita. He says, Gunas Chideva Parayoho Prabhavan Nama Bhidyate. Gunas Chideva Parayoho Prabhavan Nama Bhidyate. Achit Parau Rajo Moolam Sarga Moolas Trayo Gunah. What actually Swamiji is trying to inform here is, Satsam is knowledge based on awareness. Actually, this is more towards the scientific interpretation of the Trigunas, so that who are representing science faculties here, they may be able to appreciate what exactly the Ayurveda Karas or the Darshana Karas try to say in the name of Triguna. Satsam is knowledge based on awareness, and hence awareness can be taken as Satsam. Sattva Sanjayate Jnanam, as Gita said. Rajas is inert energy, having particle nature. Rajas is inert energy, having particle nature. Sattvam is awareness. Rajas means the dust, Rajas, dust having tiny particles. Tamas is concentrated inertia. Tamas is concentrated inertia, which is becoming inert matter. So based on this, three things we can derive, as I was quoting at the beginning, Sarvam Dravyam Panchaphotikam Asmin Arthe. Everything that exists in this world is the outcome of the five gross elements. Finally, all these can be reduced to three, scientifically speaking. One is the inert matter, that is tamas. Then second is the inert energy, that is rajas. Third is the awareness or knowledge, which is nothing but the sattvam. This way, we can translate these concepts, how they actually make sense even to the scientific community. And inert energy, inert matter, and non-inert awareness, I will repeat, inert energy, inert matter, and non-inert awareness are the fundamental building materials of the creation, which are nothing but rajas, tamas, and sattva. So all the non-inert ajada guna, non-inert qualities belong to sattva. Whereas, but they are influenced by rajas and tamas either to small extent or to a great extent. So in the case of a small extent, these non-inert qualities of sattvam are called sattvika guna. Sattvika guna. In the case of great extent, these non-inert qualities are called as rajasic or tamasic qualities. I have not seen this kind of interpretation anywhere so far. That is why I was trying to quote this from the Trailokya Gita of His Holiness Sri Datta Swami. So in all these three types of non-inert qualities, sattvam exists as a basic material. So when you try to convey the meaning like this, the language, the scientific language, which can be understood by the scientific community, I think there can be a bridge between the Indian knowledge systems and the modern systems. Nowadays, we talk more about Indian knowledge systems and all the entire knowledge base that is available here in India is practically viable, useful, and it has a contemporary relevance, especially in sciences like Ayurveda, agriculture, and so on and so forth, which are very practical sciences. And psychological constitution, body mind typology is an important concept of Ayurveda. As I was trying to tell you that Bhuta Prakriti, Dosha Prakriti, and Guna Prakriti, this is triad. This triad has always in union with each other. You cannot separate Pancha Mahabhutas, Tridoshas, and Trigunas. They're always in tandem, working with each other. So I will come to an important concept called Manasa Prakritis a little later. But before that, let me try to give more something on the general psychology. I mean, Indian psychology. Manas do not have any attributes. Mind do not have any attributes. It functions as an intermediate tool between Atma and the Indriyas. There is a process mentioned in the Nyaya Atma Manasa Sanjyate. The moment you supposed to cognize, to get the cognition from the external world, from the Vishayas, Atma is contacting the mind. Mind in turn contacts the senses, Manaha Indriyena, and Indriya Mardhena. Indriyas contact the senses. So like this, Atma Manasa Sanjyate, Manaha Indriyena, Indriya Mardhena, Tadha Pratyaksham. Like this, a process has been narrated. This is the cognitive process mentioned in the Shastras, which is almost equal to whatever they say in the modern context. So, one more point here is, Manas is the reflection of Atma. How? When you see the sunlight is a reflection of the sun. It is derived from the sun and also dissolves in the sun. Similarly, Atma, mind, and body are like a triangle. I think there is a very interesting verse in Charaka. Sattvam Atma Sharirancha Trayam Etat Tridandavat. Sattvam, Atma, Shariram. Sattva is the mind. Atma is rather, you could translate as a soul, the individual soul. Sattvam, Atma, Shariram, the body. These three, Trayam Etat Tridandavat, they are like a tripod. Lokas Tishthat Samyoga. Between the association of these three, entire world exists. Tatra Sarvam Pratishthitam, as mentioned by Charaka. So, this is the tripod of life, we can say. When we talk something from the Vedic basis, Brahmanas talk about Manas, Manayeva Savita, Vak Savitri, like this. Similarly, yet manasa manute, tad vacha vadati, tad karmana karoti, like this. Whatever one thinks is expressed through the words, whatever is expressed through the speech results in action. Trikaranas, basically. So, how the mind develops is another question in context of psychology, especially Indian psychology. When you look into the modern psychology, they have problems because René Descartes, a French philosopher, has mentioned that mind is the outcome of a brain. Like flashes and events that generated from the brain, it is nothing but the mind. It is the mental function happening through the brain. But my question is, the brain can cut and be opened. That means the brain is tangential in nature, whereas manas cannot be seen. Manas is apratyaksh, is imperceptible. This way, they have mistaken the actual concept of mind itself. Function of mind is also a problem accordingly. And he said, I think, what is that famous quotation given by Descartes? Cogito ergo sum. In French, he said, I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore I am. No, it is wrong. I am, therefore I think. We have to say like this. I am. I exist, first of all. Therefore I think. You cannot think and you cannot prove your existence through your thinking. That is why, modern medical science that is dependent on Western science heavily borrowed these mental theories, psychological theories from philosophers like Descartes. That is why he was actually belonging to 16th century. For 400 years, almost the science suffered for not being taken care for the psychological problems, because they don't know where the mind is. When I'm trying to cure a patient with psychological problems, I'm actually giving medication to the brain. The problem is with the mind. The central nervous system, throughout the central nervous system, the mind can travel, because Anuttamata Chaikattam Doguno Manasaspurto, as mentioned by Charaka and Charaka Samhita. There are two qualities for the mind. Anuttam, it is having the size of atom. Atomicity is one of the qualities of the mind. Then Ekattam, there are not multiple minds. There is only one mind. Singularity, atomicity, these two are the qualities of the mind. So when it is atom in nature, it can able to travel across the micro channels within the central nervous system, CNS. Anywhere that is possible because of its size. But when you say mind is residing in the brain, there is a problem. Mind can also reside in brain, but not always. Broadly, it is accepted that Hridayam is the place for the mind. But that is why when you say something to the other, please think with your, when you congratulate other, we say hearty congratulations. But we don't say brainy congratulations, because this is a place that is identified for the location of the mind, normal residence of the mind. Otherwise, it is when it is atom in nature, it can travel anywhere. That is why the process is mentioned. When my visual organs are seeing, mind is connected to my visual organ. When my ears are listening, my mind is connected to auditory organs. Like this, because of this wonderful concept called Anutva, it can be able to, get cognition anywhere within the biological system. This is a beauty in Ayurveda, of course, which is also mentioned in the darshanas. So when you come back to the question, how mind develops, there are many factors that are held responsible for the development of mind, like food, 5 gross elements, etc. Actually, food plays a very important role in the development of the mind. In Chandogya Upanishad, it is mentioned, Annamasitam Triyatha Vidhiyate. Whatever food we consume is classified into 3 parts. In fact, after the food juice transformed as rakta, then further to other tissues until they reach the ojas. Annamashitam triyadha vidhiyate tasya yasthavishto dhatuhu tat purisham bhavati. The gross component become purisha, there is the feces. Yo madhyamaha tan mamsam, the mediatory component is becoming the flesh, mamsam. Ya anishtaha tan manha, the subtlest part of the food that is eaten becomes the mind. That is why when you say mind is matter, I think there is no problem based on this particular statement. This anishtha tan manaha. So first part becomes excrements, second part becomes the flesh, third part becomes the mind. This is what the Chandogya Upanishad says about the development of the mind. Interestingly, another concept is also there. Water is also the element that is responsible for the development of mind. Here also three parts. First part becomes excrements, second part becomes the blood, third part becomes the prana. Whereas it becomes manas in the Chandogya, here it becomes prana. Prana has an important role. As we see, prana, apana, vyana, upana, 5 vayus have been mentioned under vata. Of course, vata is 5 types, pitta is 5 types, and kapha is also 5 types. So mind functions with the power of prana. Yoga Vasistam, wonderful text authored by Sage Valmiki, says that prana rupam hi manasam. Prana rupam hi manasam. So this is another version on par with the Chandogya. So that is why food is also responsible for the behavioral functioning of mind, and water is responsible for its movement. This is the distinction we can make out of these two types of theories. So there is no clash. And there is a beautiful analogy given in Kathopanishad about the concept of mind, of course, along with other indriyas. Atmanam radhanam vidhi. Shariram radhamevatu. The charioteer, radha is the atma. The chariot is the atma. Shariram radhamevatu. The body itself is the radha. Radhinam is, you know him to be the charioteer. Radha is the chariot. Body is the chariot. Atma is the charioteer. So, buddhim to saradhim vidhi. The intellect, buddhi, buddhi, vishayatmika buddhi. Buddhi is the saradhi driver. Manah pragraha mevacha. Manas is the rein. Manas is the rein. That is important point here. And these reins are tied to what? Indriyani hayanahuhu. The Indriyas are the horses. Horses are controlled by the rein called Manas. Indriyas are controlled by Manas. And who is the driver of this Manas? Buddhi. Who is the charioteer? Atma. What is the chariot? Sharira. Like this, wonderful analogy is given in the Kathopanishad. Atma Indriya Manoyuktam Bhokta Ityahur Manishina. Like this, wonderful fundamental theories can be discussed as part of the psychology. Let me quote a few more points in a general sense. When we try to cognize something from the world, do you feel two cognitions at a time? Two cognitions at a time, is it possible? If you do you miss something in spite of the association between the soul, senses, and the objects, the Atma, Indriya, and the Vishayas? Is there one mind or many? Like this, several questions come. That is why Charaka explains this in the Sutrasthana. Swarthendriyartha sankalpa vibhicharanacha anekam ekasmin purushe sattvam rajastamaha sattva yogacha nacha anekatvam na ekam hi ekakalam anekeshu pravartate tasman ekakala sarvendriya pravurtihi. The translation for this reference is, apparently mind in person seems to be more than one because of variations in its own objects. There are multiple objects exist in this world. Sense objects and its analytical activity, and also due to conjunction with the qualities of Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva. But in fact, there is no numerousness. That means there is no multiplicity of the mind. One mind does not attend to more than one at a time. That is why there is no activity of all the sense organs simultaneously. One interesting nyaya can be quoted here, Alata Chakra Nyaya, which is famous in Vedanta and Darshanas. Even in the context of Ayurveda, we can quote this. Then you take these two, what you call the Diwali crackers, and you rotate around like this, a circle appears. This circle is not real, in fact. It is an illusion. It is actually created as a circle, but by the rotation of this, in fact, you are seeing this as a circle. In fact, there is no circle. Similarly, it looks like there are many minds, but mind can only contact one object at one time, not multiple objects. When we see somebody is actually working on a computer and listening music, or maybe speaking over phone, something like that. Multitasking, in fact, experienced, but multitasking is based on this principle. One by one, there is like Kadamba Mukala Nyaya, Viji Taranga Nyaya kind of Nyayas we can bring into this context. So we can say that mind is not multiple. This is another important aspects here. And interestingly, Ayurveda Acharyas have they have mentioned about 5 different functions of this mind, which are not mentioned even in Sankhya Karika. Chintyam, Vicharyam, Ukhyam, Chadhyayam, Sankalpyameva cha, Yatkinchin Manasojnyayam, Tatsarvam Hyarthasanyakam. Chintya, that is thinking of the object knowledge. Vicharyam, the pros and cons of the thing that we supposed to attend. Ukhyam, imagination or hypothetical thinking. Dhyayam, the concentration of the concentration or the mediation. Sankalpyam is nothing but the determination. These 5 different functions are attributed with mind in Ayurveda. Action of a mind consists of control over senses, self-restraint, reasoning, analyzing, etc. This is told as Indriya Abhigraha, Karma, Manasaha Swasya Nigraha, Uho Vicharacha, Tataparam Buddhi Pravartate. Beyond that is the jurisdiction of Buddhi. Because Buddhi is the determinative faculty, but the mind is not determinative faculty. Mind is the storehouse of all emotions. We can only do 2 functions, Sankalpa and Vikalpa. Shall I attend this workshop or shall I not attend this workshop? Sankalpa and Vikalpa. Shall I go there? Shall I not go there? Shall I do this? Shall I not do this? Like this, these 2 always, mind is volatile in nature. But which is the one which is taking care of the decision? Buddhi. That is why in the Kathopanishad we have seen Buddhindu Saradham Vidhi. Buddhi is the driver of the mind, because mind is like the rein tied to the horse called the Indriya. So this is how another interesting information is given by the Ayurveda Acharyas. In modern psychology, mind is an all-encompassing, like an umbrella term. Mind is like an umbrella term that covers the joint functioning of the brain and body in association with the memory, worldview, personality, soul, like different phases of the human life and psychology. So what it says, it covers the way a person interacts with the people. What modern psychology does is, it covers the way a person interacts with the people and the world, how they learn and express themselves, and how they relate to abstract concepts such as religion, spirituality, metaphysics, and the different kinds of thoughts. So thought, perception, emotion, determination, memory, knowledge, all these take place within the brain as per modern psychology. That is why we can say that the sensory and motor functions, that means Jnanendriya and Karmendriyas, of the functions of the mind are attributed to the brain, while the psychological functions, especially the emotional aspect of the psyche, to the heart, not to the brain. So like this, some theories we can derive from the modern context, how they see the psychological behavior or the function. And somebody said aptly, minds are like parachutes. Minds are like parachutes. They function better when they are open. Like this. And sukha, dukkha, kama, krodha, bhaya, all these kinds of different emotions are experienced by the mind. But here, three different categories have been ascribed to Manas. As I was mentioning, functions of the mind. Here, three different faculties are attributed to mind, which are known as Dhi, Dhriti, and Smriti. Dhi, Dhriti, and Smriti. Dhi or Buddhi, both are synonymous. Buddhirhi Nishchayatmika. It is the decision maker, and it is perceived through the Indriyas, through the Manas, and it is correlated with the intellect. Buddhi is nothing but the intellect, because it is Nishchayatmika. And Dhriti, another faculty of the mind is Dhriti, Dhritihi Niyamatmika. And there is a nice quotation from Chakrapani Tika on Charaka Samhita. Vishaya Pravanam Chittam Dhriti Bhramshat Nashakyate. Vishaya Pravanam Chittam Dhriti Bhramshat Nashakyate Niyantum Ahitarthat Dhritirhi Niyamatmika. That is why this Dhriti is the another faculty of the mind, divide of which we lose our control over the mind and we develop the psychological problems. And Smriti is another third faculty as part of the mind. Smarana Smritihi. Smaranat Smritihi. Recollection of the past is known as Smriti. The experiences are registered by Drishta, that is seen, Shruta, that is heard, that is Anubhuta, that is experienced by the person and can be recalled later, because Smaranam is happening essentially. So an unimpaired condition of all these functional aspects is necessary for mental health. Because when you talk about mind, we should talk about its concept, we should talk about its function, and also the mental health, which is very much required in the current times. Many of us are suffering with various mental problems. Mental problems, don't think that big disease like schizophrenia kind of. No, I mean, stress itself is enough. Stress is the mother of all kinds of diseases. Like diabetes is the mother of all kinds of diseases. Stress is a mother of many diseases, maybe psychological and further physiological also. Like this, we can try to understand the three different faculties of the mind, besides the 5 different functions of the mind, that Chintyam, Vicharyam, Uhyam, Dhyayam, and Sankalpyam. And when you talk about again broadly the Triguna concept, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Sattva is having qualities like mercy, sharing nature, endurance, truthfulness, good conduct, belief in God, knowledge, intellect, capacity to learn, memory, self-control. Just now we have seen Dhriti, like this. Rajasika is excess grief, moving habits, lack of self-control, inflated self-esteem, lying nature, cruelty, pride, all kinds of bad qualities have been attributed to Rajasika gunas. Then when you come to Tamasika gunas, the depressed mood, lack of faith in God, lack of good conduct, intellectual deficits are there, ignorance, crookedness, laziness, sleepiness. It's like inert nature, tamas. Like this, we can try to understand the qualities attributed to the Trigunas in Ayurveda. Chakrapani, the able commentator on Charaka Samhita, talks about some bad qualities. We talk about broadly qualities. Again, the bad qualities are also offshoots of this same Trigunas. Lobha, Shoka, Bhaya, Krodha, Mana, Nairlajya, Irsha, Atiraga, Abhidya. Like this, they have been defined by Chakrapani. Lobha, Vishaye, Anuchita, Prarthana. Shokaha, that is grief. Lobha, by the way, it's greed. Shokaha, that is grief. Putrad Vinashajam, Dainyam. Bhayam, Apakara, Anusandhanajam, Dainyam. Krothaha, Pradvesho yena Prajwaritam iva Atmanam Manyate. Manaha, Sasadguna Adhyaropena Atman Utkarsha Pratyaha. Like this, for each of these qualities, the definitions have been given by the Chakrapani. Yeah. So now when we come to the Manasa Prakriti, as we have discussed broadly, Bhuta, Guna, and Dosha Prakritis. Manasa Prakritis are another important concept in Ayurveda. This is known as the 16 personality types in modern psychology also. Raymond Cattell, he tried to identify the primary traits. Traits are the different kinds of behavioral actions attributed to the personality. They form from a huge, big set of descriptive things found in the language. Raymond Cattell tried to identify these 16, but actually, when you try to compare the 16 Manasa Prakritis with that of Raymond Cattell's, they are not same. There is a difference. There is a difference. Here we talk about 7 Sattvika Manasa Prakritis. The Sattva is having 7 types of personality types. 7 types of personality under Sattva is mentioned, which is not there in any Sanskrit text. This is very exclusive to Ayurveda. This is very exclusive to Ayurveda, we can say. For example, if I quote the 7 classifications under Sattva, Brahmakaya. What is Brahmakaya? Brahmakaya is wise. Brahmakaya is truthful. It is disciplined. It is spiritual. Because the qualities of Brahman is seen in this personality, that is why the qualities attributed here can be called as Brahmakaya. Arshakaya, reflective in nature, austerity maintenance, committed to inner truth, is Arsha. Rishi Sambandham Arsham. Aindrakaya, the king of the angels is Indra. So Aindrakaya, noble leader, authoritative, dignified. These are the qualities attributed to Aindrakaya. So we are talking essentially about the personality types. And under each of these types, there are traits mentioned. How a particular type behaves. This is mentioned very clearly in Ayurveda. Actually, 2 theses were submitted under my supervision and were awarded also. What we found is 200 plus mental traits have been classified into these 16 personality types in Ayurveda. 200 plus types. Whereas Gordon Allport in modern psychology talks about 4,000 traits, which are compressed to maybe 100 plus or something. I don't remember the number correctly. But here it is very clear, and we can see when a person is identified with certain kaya in this, mostly that person is having those qualities overlapped with 1 or 2 more other kayas. There is another interesting factor. We talk about the personality type here. Brahmakaya alone, Ashrakaya alone, Indrakaya alone cannot be seen. There could be overlap between Sattva and Rajas, or Rajas and Tamas. Then the 4th one is Yamyakaya, which is morally upright, fearless, rule-bound, and so on. Varunakaya, Yamya, by the way, is the one who establishes justice, dharma. Varunakaya, calm, just, introspective, diplomatic. Kauberakaya, resourceful, organized, wealthy, yet ethical. Gandharvakaya, artistic, graceful, pleasure-loving, and so on and so forth. Gandharva. These 7 kayas are, by the way, the kaya word used by Shushrata, as Prakriti is the word used by Charaka. Manasa kaya, Brahma kaya, or Brahma Prakriti. Both are same. The little variation in the uses of the words. When you come to the Rajasika kayas, Rajasika Manasa Prakritis, it is again Asurakaya, proud, egoistic, power-seeking. Are not there Asurakaya amongst us? We go into our office, maybe amongst our colleagues, our neighbors, our relatives. So what is important here is we should find out the qualities that are the traits mentioned under each of these prakritis, how far they are relevant, and can we able to find in current times, are they relevant? All of them are highly relevant, because we have made a questionnaire based on this, which is going to be a scale, mental health scale, to assess the mental health of the person, the kind of diseases the person is prone. All these secrets can be unveiled by knowing the person's manasa prakriti when the person fills up this questionnaire. Rakshasakaya, that is harsh, unruly, aggressive. Paishachakaya, immoral, secretive, like this. Sarpakaya, unpredictable, emotional, moody. Pretakaya, restless, greedy, mentally anxious. Shakunakaya, opportunistic, unstable, fickle-minded. See, are not the bad qualities? That is why they are put under the Rajasika Manasa Prakritis. And when we come to the final category, Tamasika Prakritis, there are 3. 7 under Sattva, 6 under Rajas, and 3 under Tamas. So Pashavakaya. Pashava is instinct-driven, crude, lack of control. Matsyakaya, fearful, weak, will is very weak and dependent. Vanaspatyakaya. By the way, Pashava means Pashu is an animal. Matsya is a fish. Vanaspatya, third is, Vanaspati is a tree. Vanaspatyakaya, inactive, sluggish, indifferent, because the trees are in fact static, they are not dynamic. So some of the qualities from the word itself, we can able to imagine how the person can think and act. These are the clues given through these 16 manasa prakritis. Whereas in Kettle, it is not exactly the same. Kettle talks about some abstract qualities like reserved, outgoing, less intelligent, more intelligent, affected by feelings, emotionally stable, submissive, dominant. Like this 16 PF, there is a website which gives information, and it also assesses our prakriti, modern prakriti based on Cattle's classification. It's a 16 personality factor questionnaire, 16 PF. There is also 5 PF mentioned in modern psychology, which is, I think, known as OCEAN, OCEAN. These are acronyms for each of these, OCEAN. Anyway, coming back to the Manasa Prakritis, there are certain questionnaires that are developed in Ayurveda, and there are tools to assess to individuals to evaluate their mental constitution, health status, and other Ayurvedic parameters without any physician involvement. No need to go to doctor. After all, the doctors also ask us. They don't know. When you approach a doctor, they ask you what are the symptoms. We have to say the symptoms. Then the person give a trial on us, the trial and error method. Most of the doctors works like this. Ultimately, if you know yourself, like they said, know thyself, I think we can fare better. So these questionnaires, which are now I have mentioned, are increasingly used in research, clinical practice, and personal health monitoring, though their reliability and standards are still evolving, but the efforts are really commendable. So there are Prakriti assessment tools, health status tools, specialized tools that are really popular in Ayurvedic science, like Mysore Tridosha scale, Mysore Triguna scale. They are very popular, apart from few other scales as they have mentioned in Ayurvedic research. Like this, the Manasa Prakriti can be understood. And also, as some time back I was mentioning, food is also very, very important in deciding the mental health of a person. Apart from food, there are other factors mentioned by the Shastrakaras as part of the Ayurvedic psychology in order to avoid the diseases. Because when we talk about health, automatically you need to talk about disease. When you talk about disease, automatic health is there. Without knowing health, we can't talk about disease. They talk about two concepts essentially in the context. which is the suppressible urges, dharaniya vegas, non-suppressible urges, adharaniya vegas. Dharaniya and adharaniya, suppressible, non-suppressible. What are they? There are, I think, some 13 have been mentioned as non-suppressible urges. What are these urges? Mutra, urine, should not stop. Purisha, feces. Retas, discharge of semen. Vata, passing flatus. Chardi, vomit. Kavathu, that is sneeze. Udgara, belching. Jrumbha, yawning. Kshut, hunger. Pipasa, thirst. Bashpa, tears. Nidra, sleep. And Nishwasa. That means with a lot of effort. Shramena Nishwasa. Urge of deep breath on exertion. Urge of deep breath on exertion. These are called adharaniya vegas. We should not stop these urges. We should not arrest these urges, by which you can maintain your own health. Suppressing these urges definitely leads to different types of diseases which are clearly mentioned in Ayurveda. For example, in IT field nowadays, we see many people, they control their sleep and they work overnight because their clock is different than our clock. But that is a non-suppressible urge. Hunger, even the same community, they eat something untimely, so that their health is gone, and diseases emerge. So this is very much seen by our acharyas in order to maintain the psychological as well as the physical health. So, for example, if you stop the mutra, that is urine, as one of the non-suppressible urges, what happens is there is a pain in the bladder, there is pain in the genitals, and there is a disease called dysuria, headache, bending of the body, a distension of the lower abdomen. And of course, they have mentioned the subsequent therapies to come out from this problem, like Avagahana Sweda, called tub bath, Abhyanga, massage, nasal drops of ghee, 3 types of basti, like this. For each of these problems, non-suppressible urges, they have mentioned the therapies also equally. So these are the non-suppressible. What are the suppressible urges? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mana, Mada, Matsarya. The 6 bad qualities, the internal enemies of the human being. So these need to be suppressed. We should not display these emotions, basically, because it may cause harm or damage or some loss to the other. That is why acharyas, psychologically, they mentioned that please control, suppress these 6 urges. Kama is an urge, Krodha is an urge, anger, the lust or passion, Krodha, Lobha, greed is an emotion that results into bad behavior. Like this, these must be controlled. So they have very clearly mentioned that there are dharaniya vegas, suppressible urges, there are adharaniya vegas. So I think I was trying to inform you the basic fundamental theories, starting from the Panchamahabhuta, then the Tridosha, then the Triguna. Then I was talking about the 5 functions of the mind, that is the Chintya, Vichara, Ukya, Dhyaya, Sankalpya. Then the 3 faculties, Dhi, Dhriti, and Smriti. Then the 16 Manasa Prakritis, 7 under Sattva, 6 under the Rajas, and 3 under the Tamas. Then I just now have mentioned about this Dharaniya Vegas and Adharaniya Vegas. Actually, I can give more information on the Manasa Prakritis maybe during the discussion. I think it is 8 to 12. I think I should stop here for any interactions. Dr. Shubhankar, is it fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Interesting, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. So, if we have any question, you may ask. Anyone?
नमस्कारः प्रसाद महोदय नमस्कारः
नमस्कारः।
मन्ये भवान् मां विस्मरत् स्यात् यूनिवर्सिटि आफ् हैदराबाद् मध्ये प्रथम MA गणस्य छात्रः आसम् अहं राजशेखरः कुशली भवान् अपि अत्र एकः प्रश्नः अस्ति साङ्ख्यमनुसृत्य प्रकृतेः महान् महतः अहङ्कारः तस्मात् गणस्य षोडशः इत्यनेन कुतो वा मनः अगच्छत् इति तत्र दर्शितम् आसीत्। आयुर्वेदमनुसृत्य आयुर्वेददृष्ट्या किं नाम मनः तस्य लक्षणं किम् इति केन सूत्रेण प्रतिपादितं संहितायां?
तदेव मया उक्तमासीत्। तत्र मनः मनसः स्वरूपं तावत् छान्दोग्योपनिषत्तः स्वीकृतमस्ति। तत्र अन्नमशतं त्रेधा विधीयते, तस्य अनिष्टतमो भागः मनः इति कथितमिति। सो दट् ఈస్ तद् वस्तुतः भवति मनसः उत्पत्तिः। यतः मनः द्रव्यम् इति कथनार्थं न्यायशास्त्रेपि तत्र द्रव्येषु नवद्रव्याणि वर्तन्ते, द्रव्येषु अन्यतमं भवति मनः। अतः तत्र द्रव्यम् इत्युक्ते मैटर् भवति। मैटर् इति तत्र आधुनिकैः उक्तमस्ति। तथापि अस्माभिः सामञ्जस्यं प्राप्तुं शक्यते, तत्र क्लेशः नास्ति। अनन्तरं लक्षणं तावत्
यथा अध्यवसायो बुद्धिः इति लक्षणं वर्तते बुद्धेः, एवमेव मनः।
तत्र धी धृति स्मृति इति मया तत्र उक्तमस्ति। तत्र धी धृति स्मृति इति एतेषां त्रयाणां तत्र अभावेन अथवा तत्र विकारेण किं भवति, प्रज्ञापराधः इति कश्चन क्लेशः जायते। प्रज्ञापराधः is something similar to cognitive dissonance theory in modern psychology. धी धृति स्मृति विभ्रष्टः कर्म यत् कुरुते अशुभं प्रज्ञापराधं तं विद्यात् सर्वदोष प्रकोपणम्. So धी धृति स्मृति, when these three are actually derailed, they are not in balance, then what happens is प्रज्ञापराधः अर्थात् प्रज्ञया कृतः अपराधः प्रज्ञापराधः इति आयुर्वेद आचार्य उच्यते। अयं विषयः अत्यन्तं विशिष्टः आयुर्वेदशास्त्रे नान्यत्र दृश्यते। प्रज्ञापराधः त्रिषु रोगकारणेषु अन्यतमः। असात्मेन्द्रियार्थसंयोगः, प्रज्ञापराधः, परिणामः इति कारणत्रयम् आयुर्वेदे स्वीकृतमस्ति। प्रज्ञापराधः कमिटिंग ए मिस्टेक, कमिटिंग ए ब्लंडर knowingly is प्रज्ञापराधः। तत्र किमर्थम् इत्युक्ते तदुदाहरणं पश्यामः। कश्चित् मद्यं सेवते, मद्यसेवनेन तत्र लिवर् गच्छति इति वयं जानीमः। कश्चित् धूमपानं करोति, धूमपानसेवनेन लङ्ग् गच्छति इति वयं जानीमः। किन्तु ज्ञात्वापि अस्माभिः क्रियते। लघु उदाहरणं ददामि। तत्र बहुत्र अस्माभिः दैनन्दिनजीवने प्रज्ञापराधः क्रियते एव। किञ्चित् पदार्थं तत्र भुञ्जे, सः पदार्थः मम आरोग्यस्य उत्तमः नास्ति, तर्हि अपि अहं तत्र सेवनं करोमि। उदाहरणार्थं तत्र जङ्क् फुड्, तर्हि ज्ञात्वापि क्रियते किल। अतः किं भवति, तद् प्रज्ञापराधः इत्युच्यते। अतः प्रज्ञापराधः त्रिषु रोगकारणेषु अन्यतमः परिगणितः आयुर्वेदाचार्यैः। अत एव धिया धृत्या स्मृत्या यः विभ्रष्टः भवति सः प्रज्ञापराधम् इति तत्र दोषं जनयति। किमर्थं, मनसः तत्र फैकल्टी इति मया उक्तमस्ति। मनसः फैकल्टी इति धृति इति स्मृति इति धी इति, एतत् त्रयम् उक्तमस्ति। अनन्तरं गुणाः मया तत्र सूचिताः एव, तत्र सत्त्वस्य, रजसः, तमसश्च। एवं रीत्या तत्र मनसः लक्षणम् अस्माभिः स्वीकर्तुं शक्यते।
नाम आचार्यैः, वैद्याचार्यैः कुत्रापि न प्रतिपादितं वा ग्रन्थेषु?
किमिति?
वैद्यग्रन्थेषु
किमिति न प्रतिपादयति।
मनसः लक्षणं किम् इति, कुतो वा मनः आगच्छति?
न, तत्र सूत्रस्थाने जनकसंहितायाम् इन्द्रिय उपक्रमणीय अध्यायः इति एकः अध्यायः वर्तते। तस्मिन् अध्याये मनसः स्वरूपं लक्षणं सर्वं वर्णितमस्ति। इन्द्रिय पञ्चपञ्चेन्द्रियस्य तत्र विकारः उक्ताः वर्तन्ते। तदस्ति तथा
अस्तु अस्तु, धन्यवादः।
स्पष्टता तैः प्राप्ता तद्विषये। We are very clear in Ayurveda about the concept and function of mind, which is not available in any Shastra. Forget about modern science.
Sir, I have a question. I'm calling from
मनः द्रव्यमेव तत्र सन्देहः नास्ति।
Sir, Acharya.
महोदय न श्रूयते सम्यक्, क्लेशः अस्ति।
न श्रूयते वा?
किञ्चित् तत्र डिस्टर्बेन्स्
श्रूयते।
अस्ति।
आचार्यः श्रूयते।
मनः द्रव्यमेव भवति, तत्र सन्देहः एव नास्ति। वेदान्तरीत्या वा भवतु न्यायरीत्या वा भवतु, मनः द्रव्यमेव। द्रव्यस्य इयमेव परिभाषा भवति। यः मैटर् इति कथयति द्रव्यस्य, तस्यापि इदम् इष्टं भवति। गुणस्य आश्रयः क्रियायाः आश्रयो वा द्रव्यं भवति। अतः मनः तत्र सुखदुःखादिगुणानाम् आश्रयः भवति। एवं मनः तत्र गति भवति। वेदिनापि इष्टं भवति। संकल्पविकल्पादिकतो उपनिषद्वाक्यं स्वीकृत्य तत्र मनस अन्यत्र सांख्ययोगे वेदान्ते तु अन्तःकरणमिति उच्यते। अतः तत्र स्वरूप निरूपणे न काचित् परस्परं विप्रतिपत्तिः, परन्तु तस्य कार्यविषये आयुर्वेदे तद् विज्ञान आधारीकृत्य तत्र बाहुल्यमस्ति। परन्तु तादृशं कार्यं यद् भवति तत्सर्वं भाष्येपि शाङ्करभाष्येपि तत्समस्ति। अस्तु।
आचार्यैः उक्तं।
गुरुजी नमस्ते, अहं देवव्रतः।
नमस्ते नमस्ते।
तत्र मीन्स् इन् दट् चरकसंहिता सूत्रस्थाने मनसः लक्षणम् एतादृशं वर्तते। अतीन्द्रियं पुनः मनः सत्त्वसंज्ञकं चेतः इति आहु एके।
सत्यं।
तदर्थात्म संपदायात् तच्चेष्टं चेष्टाप्रत्यभूतम् इन्द्रियाणाम् इति। पुनः शारीरस्थानेऽपि वर्तते। वैधृत्यात् मनसो ज्ञानं सन्निध्यात् तच्च वर्तते इति तत्र शारीरस्थाने अपि वर्तते
एवं।
So here Acharya Charaka has clearly mentioned that mana is known as sattva or chetah. That much only it has given here, but the objects and the functions has given in details.
Yes. Chetah is because chetah is coming from the chiti sanyane. Chiti sanyane sanyane.
Yes.
Two meanings for chit. The dhatu chit is having sanyane smarane, sanyanam and smaranam. You are retrieving and you are also recalling. These two functions are attributed to chit. From only chittam or chetana, all this have been derived. So in addition, as I already mentioned earlier, these 5 different functions: chintyam, vicharyam, ukhyam, dhyayam, sankalpyam, is one of the definitions, as Mr. Rashekar was asking something just now. Another is sankalpa vikalpatmakam manah. It has two different two functions, either to do this or not to do.
तदेव संकल्प विकल्पादयः उपनिषदि स्पष्टम् उक्तमस्ति। मनस एव एतत् सर्वं
Acharya.
अस्तु। Next question.
Anyone?
Sir, I have a question. Can I ask?
Please, Purnima ji.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. It was a very wonderful session from you. I wanted to know, sir, when you were talking about Prakriti and its importance, you were also telling about finding the root cause, Nidana Parivarjanam, I think that is what you used. For a normal person like us, how do we know or find out our Prakriti and what is it that we need to watch for?
Okay, very interesting question. Madam, actually, I was also trying to inform you about some questionnaires, which are called mental health scales. I was referring to the Mysore Triguna scale. Apart from Mysore Tridosha scale, there are several other scales that are available in the public domain. Some of them need to be paid and you can use their service. Using those questionnaires, you can get to know what is your current mental status, because if you remember, I was giving information about the mental traits. These mental traits are converted as questions in the questionnaire. So based on the rankings, like it is strong, very strong, agree, disagree, strongly disagree, like this 5-card scale.
Yeah, I like that scale, yes.
Yeah. Likert scale, when you use that certain statistical analysis comes out. Based on that, we may be categorized into certain type, like sattva 60%, rajas 30%, tamas 10%. If predominant is 60% is there, sattva, definitely I am good. If 60% is rajas is there, then definitely I am prone to more diseases. I'm prone to anger kind of emotions. Different kinds of problems may attack me. What I need to do, I have to do the corrections at my food level, corrections at my practice level. For example, the 3 types of food as mentioned in Gita, 17th chapter, 8th, 9th, and 10th slokas, talk about the 3 types of food, satvika, rajasika, and tamasika aharas. So ahara is also having a wonderful impression on functioning of our mind. That is, we need to take care of this. When I talk about vegetarian food and non-vegetarian food, it is nothing to do with the caste. Please understand. Anybody, I'm just referring. It is about which guna is predominant test based on the ahar. Nothing to do with any other factors. That is why we should take care whether sattva guna is more predominant in me or rajoguna is predominant in me. If I'm tamasika, I should elevate myself to rajasika so that I can become sattvika in future. Maybe in this birth, in future births, as we believe in Karma Siddhanta in Hindu philosophy. So that way, we can take the help of these questionnaires, which are available in some of free in the public domain, and some may be paid, so that we can take care of ourselves by knowing our mental constitution is number 1. Number 2, by if there are any problems that are available in the analysis, which need to be endorsed by us. Please understand, just because some questionnaire is giving us some result, don't simply believe. Please correlate with our own self-experience. We know, are there any problems psychologically, maybe at conscious level, unconscious level, or subconscious level, as per Sigmund Freud. Some we may not know. That is why we need to correlate with the self-experience. I think that is the best way, apart from doing some, meditative techniques. So that basically, what is the key here for mental health? Abhyasa and Vairagya. Abhyasena te kaunteya, Vairagyena cha grukhyate. Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam tannirodhaha, as Sage Patanjali has mentioned beautifully. So there are certain tools available. Making use of those tools, let us try to correct ourselves. Our basically lifestyle is corrupted in modern times. Very sedentary lifestyle we follow, which is not correct. Food is also not good that we eat. Anyway, the food quality is gone long back. And nowadays, everybody is behind the organic type of food. That is why we need to make corrections at the food level, dietary level, lifestyle levels also, after knowing these things thoroughly, but with self, correlation. This is my humble suggestion.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. Just one more question.
Yes.
Is there any website where we can get more information on what you have spoken? Any authentic place where we can find more data or
Yeah, I will send some links to Dr. Shubhankarji. Maybe we can forward it to you.
Sure, sir. That would be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste, sir. I am Dr. Jyoti
Namaste.
Fausdar. Food plays a very important role in the development of mind, you said. So, the
Yes.
statement Hita Bhuk, Mita Bhuk, Rutu Bhuk, and Shuchi Bhuk will be enough for Manasa
Huta
Bhuk.
Bhuk. Huta Bhuk.
Huta Bhuk.
Properly cooked.
Okay. Hita Bhuk, Mita Bhuk, Rutu Bhuk, Huta Bhuk, and Shuchi Bhuk.
I think you are referring to that koruk.
Okay. Thank you.
Please continue.
So that is the main principle to maintain one's mental development or mental health.
Definitely. Naro hitahara vihara sevi. I'm not recalling the next phrase. Data satyaparha kshamaman. Bhavat yaroga, as Vagpata says in Ashtang Hridayam. Hitahara, mitahara has been emphasized by Vagpata and hitabhuk, because we should eat only hitahara. And 8 types of ahara ayatanas have been mentioned in Charaka Samhita. Karanam, like this, I'm not able to recall the entire set, but 8 parameters of food have been mentioned in Charaka Samhita, following by which we can maintain our health properly. That is why hitahara, mitahara. Hita is suitable food that is conducive to our prakriti, because each of us belong to Vata, Pitta, Pitta, Kapha, Vata, Kapha kind of prakritis. Which food is more suitable to my constitution, one should take care. If I eat more Vata, aggravating food, for example, I am a Vata, Kapha person. If I eat more food that aggravates Vata in my body, Vata plus
right.
Vata, that becomes a great problem, because Vayurveda Kshepishto Devata, that brings a lot of tsunamis and different kinds of problems inside the body. Whatever it does outside the world, same thing is done by Vata inside the world. That is why, as per my prakriti, I have to choose my food. That is why hitahara. Mitahara, quantity. That is sarvagraha and parigraha. 2 concepts have been mentioned in Ayurveda. Sarvagraha is, for example, we are eating dal, sabji, different kinds of items we are putting in our plate. That is total menu. At the same time, quantity of each of the items, dal kitna, sabji kitna. Like this, you have to see the parigraha also. Sarvagraha is important. On par with sarvagraha, parigraha is also mentioned with regard to the mitahara, quantity. So you said about mitahara, hitahara, I corrected as hutahara.
I said Rutu Bhuk.
Rutu means, of course, that is not exactly broadly mentioned in this context. Rutu Charya is mentioned. As per Rutu, we have to consume our food. But I was mentioning about hutahara. Huta means samyak hutam annam. The food that is cooked properly. Unfortunately,
Can it be also Naivedyam?
What is that?
Can that Huta Bhuk be Naivedyam to gods?
Madam, Naivedyam to God is, in fact,
I mean,
feet we do.
whatever is offered to gods, we have to consume. That is what is said in
We
Gita.
have to bring in that context here. Naivedyam is with a
No, what I mean to
this food.
what I meant to say was, in Bhagavad Gita, they say that whatever one should not cook for oneself, it should be offered to gods, and that is the right kind of food that has its impact on us.
I don't think so. Because
Psychologically,
this food to the statues. We are not offering to living human incarnation like Rama, Krishna, or Ramakrishna Paramahamsa like that, or Ramanuja, Shankara, or Madhva. We are not offering this food to living incarnation. It's all gone. We are only offering to statues. That is why this is not possible, in my opinion. Rather, I think the food, I think this is how we can see.
sir, one shloka is there. Ghutena vardhate buddhihi, ayuhu kshirena vardhate, kushakat vardhate rogaha, mamsam mamsena vardhate. Is it universally applicable?
This is called Samanya Vishesha Siddhanta in Ayurveda. Mamsam mamsena vardhate is when you supply flesh to your body as a food, mamsa vruddhi is there. This is called Samana Siddhanta. Vishesha Siddhanta is opposite to this. Like
Okay.
the people who don't take non-vegetarian, what about them? In Samana Siddhanta, they have to take masha. What is
Yes.
Urad dal, I think. Urad dal.
Yes.
Urad dal is having the same kind of protein that is available in the flesh.
Okay.
So that gives a same kind of effect. That is Vamsa Mamsena Vartate. So this is called Samana Siddhanta, universal applicable. Even one more thing I can add here, Samana Siddhanta, when you do the blood transfusion, when you go to blood bank and you give the blood and the blood groups accordingly it is given, and the person is getting health back. That is based on Samana Siddhanta in Ayurveda.
Okay.
Because blood is mamsa mamsena vartate, raktam raktena vartate. We can say like that.
Yes.
Like yes.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, Alpana.
Ji, sir. Sir, I have one question. Sir, you told me 3 types of gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, and these gunas are different qualities. But, sir, how these gunas influence the person, cognitive stability and decision-making process?
Can you please elaborate?
Yes, sir. Sir, these gunas are different qualities. So, how these gunas have influence to a person cognitive stability and decision-making process?
Decision-making process, in fact, we should basically, decision-making happens only when buddhi works.
Yes, sir.
Manas cannot do, as I was mentioning. In order for the buddhi to function properly, we should have restraint over the indriyas. Where I'm seeing something, I'm listening something, I'm spelling something, I'm talking. All the jnanendriyas are working properly, and the contact with the vishayas, the objects, or rather with the world, must be proper and should be controlled. Then my buddhi can work properly. That is about taking decision. Otherwise, I can't take proper decisions. I will fail. Is it not? I will fail in taking proper decisions when my mind is controlling me, not buddhi. How to control the mind? I was just mentioning abhyasa, continuous practice. It is not 1 week you have controlled by doing meditation and all those things. Again, for 10 days I have taken a break. That will not correct. That will not be correct. We have to be very continuous. Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena chagrikyate. Abhyasa, continuous practice. Vairagya, detachment. Detachment means you leave everything and go to forest, not like that. Vairagya is mental detachment. Mental detachment from the objects or from the people. You can be very well within the world, very well within the society and at your own home. Still mentally you are detached. That is what is the Sthita Prajnata mentioned in Gita. We will not to run away from the society. We can very well be in the society, very well behave with the people, but don't be attached. I think the thermodynamics third law can be brought up here.
Yes, sir.
That Q is equal to, what is that? P plus W, something like that. So that your energy is saved over there. All your energy spent towards tension, so that the work becomes zero. All energy spent towards work, the works become 100%. That way, taking decision is based on our control over the mind. But it is not so easy. I agree. Dushkaram hi mana Krishna, pramati balabadrudam, as mentioned in Gita. So difficult it is, but yes, there is a way out. Continuous practice. What is the other thing you asked, Alpana?
Sir, cognitive stability.
Yeah, when actually when the buddhi is actually stable, cognitive stability is already achieved. Is it?
Sir,
not?
yes, sir. Sir, for what about behavior? Behavior. Yes, sir.
See, that is what I was trying to mention. In Manasa Manudeta Dvacha Vadati, in Dvacha Vaditan Karmana Karoti, whatever we think that reflects in our words, whatever we speak, that reflects in our actions. That is why we need to have Trikarana Shuddhi. Manas, Vak, and Kaya. In these 3 components, we should have balance. So behavioral aspects are the reflection of the thoughts. Thoughts emerge as action. कर्मण्येकं मनस् वचस्येकं मनस्येकं कर्मण्येकं महात्मना मनस्यन्यत् वचस्यन्यत् कर्मण्यन्यत्
Duratma.
Is it not?
Yes, sir.
When we have our thoughts controlled, our behavior is also automatically corrected. Behavioral patterns are decided by thought process, and the thought processes are controlled by mind. When I can control my mind, thought process is controlled. Thought process is controlled. My behavior is corrected. There is a cascading effect. When you try to touch upon the behavioral aspects, you have to go to the root called the mind, and the thought process is a root cause for all this kind of, whether it is positive action or negative action.
Yes.
I don't
Okay,
know
sir.
answered your question, but I try to understand your question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Many thank you. Now, I would like to warmly invite respected Devata Panda sir for summary of the session.
Namaste, sir. Respected my Guruji, Professor K. Dharanidharan, and Guruji J.S. Prasad, sir, and all the participants. Actually, it was a very nice concept and very vast concept. So it is not able to complete in an hour. But sir has very summarizedly all the points he touched. And first he has explained about the Ayurveda and psychology, then what is Ayurveda psychology. And also he told about the Prakriti, which is he clearly about the Dosha Prakriti, Bhuta Prakriti and Guna Prakriti. Actually, in that Susruta Sarirasthana, if he will go, Garbha Vyakaranam, one chapter is there, the fourth chapter that is, in that Shukra Shunita Sanyoge Yaha Bhavet Utkata Doshaha Tena Prakriti Jayate. So at that time, what dosha is coming, based on that, your Prakriti constitutions will come, and through that only we will come to know about the means whether Sattvika or Rajasika or Tamashika. And again, he has given very nicely about all the divisions about the Sattvika, that Brahmakaya, Mahendrakaya, Varunakaya, Koverakaya, Gandharvakaya, Yamyakaya, and Rushikaya. And also about the Rajasa Prakriti, that Aswara, Sarpa, Shakuna, Rakshasa, Vaishacha, and Pretakaya. And Tamasa Prakriti, we also has given the Pashava, Matsya, and Vanaspatya. Actually, here also one question was coming there, whether we will come to know our the Prakriti and all. So if you will go to this chapter, actually, Sushrita Sarirasthana, also we will aware of that one, which type of Prakriti we have, that Vata Prakriti or Pitta Prakriti or Kapha Prakriti, whether we have the Sattvika Prakriti, in that Sattvika, which type of, or else Rajasika means which type of, or Tamasa means which type of. So all has given very details, you can refer that one. So sir also touch in that one. And also he has very much cleared about these Upanishads, these Kathopanishads and Chandogya Upanishads. So he has narrated about the development of mind, how it has given in Chandogya Upanishad, and very nicely he has given about the this what is that one, that quoted from Kathopanishads about the mana. So that Ratha, that is a very nice, it was there. So body is like a Ratha, and Atma is like a charioteer, and Buddhi is Sarathi, Manas is wheel, Indriya is horses. In that way he has given very nicely, and also given the examples of the Nyayas and all. And he has given the function of mind as per the Charaka. It was very nicely he has quoted that one, that Chintya Vicharya Vishyam Cha Dheyam Sankalpam Evacha, like that he has given, and also given about the action of mind. So Indriya Vigraha Karma Manasaha Swasya Nigraha. So in that way he has quoted also the Charaka Samhita, the commentary commented by Chakrapani Dattas, that also he has quoted very nicely. and explain about the types of mana on the basics of Triguna dominance and that Vichaya Pravanam Sattam Dhruti Pramsat Sakyate, like that. Also discuss about the that Manasa Vikara, Manasa Vikara also he has given. Then I'll discuss about the Prakriti and so it was very nice, and also he touched the modern views about the psychology and all in details. So overall, actually, it was very much interesting and very nice to listen again and again from sir. So we are very lucky to attend such type of seminars. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your presentation. It was excellent presentation. Thank you, sir.
I was really privileged and honored to say something which very little I know. I am only a student here in front of my Guruji, especially here, Professor Dharanidhan sir, and all you Vidwans and young scholars and senior scholars here who patiently listened to me. Really, it's a wonderful interaction with all of you. Very thankful to you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Now, I would like to only invite respected Guruji for concluding remarks of the session.
नमस्ते। वो हमारे जो प्रिय छात्र है और विद्वान ऋषि आंजनेय, स्वयं आंजनेय प्रसाद है को उनका नाम आंजनेय, तो साथ लोग समझते हैं। तो आने के तरह इस व्याख्यान से सब लोग समझ गए होंगे। नहीं सुनाई दे रहा है
गुरुजी,
ना? सुनाई दे रहा है ना?
हेलो। हाँ गुरुजी, अभी क्लियर है। हाँ गुरुजी।
इनके जो भाषण में कुछ प्रमुख विषय है। सबसे पहले जो है के हिसाब से सरकार उसका निरूपण किया है, वह दर्शन शास्त्र से दूर नहीं है, समस्त दर्शनों के साथ है। विश्वसनीय दो व्याख्यान है और अभिनंदनीय भी है। नंबर 1। नंबर 2, इसे उन्होंने जो क्लासिफिकेशन जो किया है उसकी जो शैली है आश्चर्यजनक है। जैसे जो है मैं बता दूंगा क्योंकि मैं आयुर्वेद का छोड़ी। तो पित्त जो कफ है इसका मतलब पित्त से क्या के तीन प्रकार का भारतीय ज्ञान की निरूपण करके उनका एक प्रतिज्ञा वचन है, प्रतिज्ञा है, इसका निरूपण भी किया। इसी के चलते जो पर्सनालिटी टाइप्स बेस्ड ऑन जो गुणास है इसको लेकर लिए वो पूछते हैं, उसका उन्होंने एक चीज को सीधा पकड़ करके बता दिया। जो सात्विक है 7 प्रकार का है, राजस 6 प्रकार का है और 3 काइंड ऑफ तामसिक है, उसका विवरण दिया था। और ये तो किसी का पूर्णिमा और कल्पना और ज्योति जो प्रश्न था उसका उस रूप में हमें देखना चाहिए। पूरा उन्होंने जो उनका पूरा व्याख्यान ऐसा देखा जाए तो मैंने जो साइंस ऑफ मेंटल जो हेल्थ है उसका उनका व्याख्यान से मैंने 14 प्रकार के मैंने उसको गिना में था, 14 प्रकार करके रखा हूँ। इसमें से मैं संग्रह उन्होंने जो आयुर्वेद के प्रकार से उन्होंने बताया, हमें कैसे मालूम है का प्रश्न था। मेरा साइकोलॉजिकल स्टेटस मेरा क्या है, मैं किसी भी भूल से भी प्रसाद सर ऐसे लोगों से जो नहीं चाहिए उन्होंने जाना है को लेकर मेरा संहिता है। सबसे पहले हमारा ये जो गुड मेमोरी होनी चाहिए, जो हमारा जो मेमोरी पावर है सही है, स्मृति आपका मेंटल तब सही है, नंबर 1 हेल्थ। दूसरा, मैं ये मेरा कुछ भी मेरा नवीन नहीं है, इनका भाषण से और इनका भी नाम से किंचित उसके अनुसार जो चरक ने जो बताया उसी को लेकर उन्होंने बताया, उसी को लेकर मैंने उसको नोट किया है। दूसरा, जो दिनचर्या में तो सब कुछ उसमें समाहित हो जाता है, सब कुछ जो डेली प्रैक्टिस में, क्योंकि चरक ने उसको ये भी बताया ध्यान, प्राणायाम और पारायण, इस तरह का जो चीजें हैं जिससे हम आजकल दूर रहते हैं, हम और जाते हैं प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए डॉक्टर के पास, उससे कुछ भी होने वाला नहीं है, फीस मात्र जमा करनी है। बताया जो हुक है, जो अर्थ उसमें ऐसा बताया है, तो गृह के बारे में बताऊंगा जो है का स्थान है, जो का आयुर्वेद में भी अनुमत है। उसमें जो अतिथि सत्कार है, भूत का मतलब है, ज्योति मैडम ने जो बताया नैवेद्य करके थोड़ा उसका विश्लेषण करना चाहिए था कि भगवान निवेदित जो है उसको कोई अतिथि कोई आ रहे हैं, अतिथि के साथ स्वाद की गुंजीता, इस चीज को हमारी भारतीय परंपरा जोड़ देता है। किसी के साथ भोजन करना है, इसलिए भूख का मतलब है दूसरे का आप शेयर करके, ये जो शेयर करने का मतलब ये स्विगी वाला जोमेटो वाला शेयर करना ये नहीं है ये वाला नहीं है। हम जो स्वयं जो ऑर्गेनिक का जो हम बनाते हैं उसको बना करके, वो भी इसी में जो घृत वाला जो है आयुर्वेदिक घृतम, ये मंत्र लिया हुआ है आपके में भी आयुर्वेदिक घृतम आहार अध्याय में, उसमें आयुर्वेदिक घृतम माने जो है गो घृतम, गो घी, जो पैकेट ये बोतल जो क्या है वो सब घी नहीं है, वो तो क्या वेदन क्या जो घोघृत है बुद्धिकारक है, इसलिए उसका बताया हुआ है। और तीसरा ये होना चाहिए, जो भी हमारा माने संकट या आपदाएं हमारे समक्ष आवे, लेकिन हमारी जो भी विचलित नहीं होनी चाहिए। ये अर्थात उन्होंने बताया था फियरलेस इन फेसिंग। प्रसाद साहब ने बताया,
situations है।
मैंने कुछ नहीं लिखा अपने आप से। माने फियरलेसनेस तो हमारा होना चाहिए। ऐसा होगा क्या, इस तरह का होगा, उस तरह का होगा, होने को ये होना चाहिए। और जब इसी तरह का जब ये होगा उसी तरह मेंटेन, माने अपने आप को मेंटेनेंस भी करना चाहिए। जब जब संतोषजनक जो हमारी जो दशा होती है, तब तो दौड़ना नहीं है, पटान दूसरे को बोलना भी नहीं है। उस समय भी सुख दुखादि समय में समदृष्टि के साथ होना, जो गीता जी में जो बताया हुआ है, ये सब ये भी एक कारण है, ये भी एक है। और प्रैक्टिसेस है। एक दिन हम जो काम करते हैं उसमें दूसरे के विरोध में हमारा काम कभी भी नहीं होना चाहिए। अपने जो जो साधना है, हमारा जो साधना है, उसके ओर जाने के लिए हमारी मन की प्रवृत्ति होनी चाहिए। इस तरह का और भी है। समय के अनुसार मैं इन पांचों का, अगर जिसके पास, अगर तुम्हारे पास है, मेरे पास है, इनके पास है, वही वस्तुतः मनोवैज्ञानिक पर्सनालिटी उनके पास है, ऐसा आप समझ सकते हैं। क्योंकि आयुर्वेद में जो काय के बारे में इन्होंने जो बताया, क्या क्या है, आर्ष ऐन्य वारुण कौवेर गांधर्व पैशाच और राक्षस और इस तरह का प्रेत शकुनी, इस तरह का है, और सर्प, इस तरह का कई जो जो माने जो भेद है बताते हुए उसका डेफिनेशन भी उन्होंने बताया है। लेकिन इन सबका जो सार है, हमने अंत में जो चार पांच जो बताया है, उस पर अगर हमारा ध्यान होगा तभी प्रसाद सर का जो व्याख्यान है सफल है। ठीक है, इसका मतलब उनका जो प्रयास विफल है वो बात नहीं है। उसका हम लोगों ने जो सुना है तभी हम सफल हो जाएंगे, नहीं तो वो तो वैसे ही जो दृश्य पटल में ही वैसे ही रहेगा। उनका भाषण उस दिन वर्कशॉप में हुआ था, सुभाकर जी ने उसको कराया, बस इतने में वो सीमित रहेगा। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। ये सब जो प्रैक्टिसेस है इतना असाध्य है, दुष्कर्म है, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है। वी कैन डू, हम उसको करके साधन करके दिखा सकते हैं। इसके लिए हम ये संस्कृत वाले ही कर सकते हैं, हम लोग नहीं है, ऐसा रोने से कोई फायदा नहीं है। सभी लोग कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि शरीर किसी का संस्कृत शरीर नहीं है, या सबका प्राकृत शरीर ही है। किसी का भी संस्कृत शरीर है या फ्रेंच शरीर है या इंग्लिश शरीर किसी का भी नहीं है। इसलिए उस दृष्टि से अगर इनका हम व्याख्यान अगर हम देखेंगे तो हम रियली अपने जीवन यात्रा को लेकर इस व्याख्यान का जो सारांश है उसको हम अपना आत्मसात करके अगर ले जाएंगे, वस्तुतः हम इस जीवन के लिए सफल हम बन जाएंगे। ये मेरा पूर्णतः विश्वास है। इतने में से मैं विराम लेता हूँ। मेरे लिए बहुत ही एक आनंददायक अवसर है। जो देवव्रत, शुभंकर, ये सब तो नए नए अपने जो मिडिवल पीरियड का है, ये तो पुराने हमारा जो जयस सर जी है, तो सबका एक साथ ऐसे दृश्य पटल में मिलने का एक जो अवसर मिला है, ये कुल्टी कॉलेज का मेरा बहुत ही निरुपम धन्यवाद है और सबका मेरा शुभकामनाएं हैं। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद गुरुजी।
हाँ,
On behalf of the Department of Sanskrit, I express my heartfelt thanks to Prasad sir, Panda sir, and Guruji, all the participants and principal of the Kulti College. So now, by the Shanti Mantra, we'll end the session. Om Sahana Bhavato Sahano Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahete Jasina Vadhe Tamastama Pit Vishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
नमस्ते गुरुजी।
नमस्कार
आचार्यः
डॉक्टर।
भवताम् अनुग्रहेण भवतां सान्निध्येन अत्र अत्यन्तम् आनन्दं प्राप्तवान्। अहं किम् उक्तवान् अहं न जानामि, किन्तु भवतां दर्शनेन अत्यन्तम् आनन्दितः। धन्योऽस्मि।
मेरे पास है
सर सर
जो कुछ बताया मेरे पास लिखा हुआ है।
आप सब कुछ लिख रहे थे, मैं भी ऐसा नहीं करता हूँ। मैं दूसरों को जब सुनता हूँ मैं ऐसा लिखता हूँ। आप तो सर मैं याद कर सकता हूँ इस अवसर पर, when I started to work on Indian research methodology maybe 15 years back, you were the one, sir. You gave me the hint to how to go ahead. The 2 articles published in Saraswati Sushma, from that actually I started. अतः मुझे बिल्कुल याद है आपने बेजवाब किया इसका। तो और क्या बताएं आपके कृपा के बारे में।
वही अच्छा हुआ अस्माकं मनसि सन्तोषः जायते एतादृशीं वृद्धिम् अनुभूय।
केवलं भवताम् आशीर्वचः। आचार्य।
నమస్కారం నమస్కారం. బాగున్నారు కదా అందరూ? అందరూ బాగున్నారు కదా?
అందరూ బాగున్నారు.
తిరుపతిలో ఉన్నారు.
తిరుపతిలో ఉన్నారు సార్. తిరుపతిలో ఉన్నారు సార్.
ఉంటాను.
नमस्ते महोदय, प्रणामः।
नमो नमः महोदय।
Dear participant, there will be no session tomorrow. Our next session will be held on Monday. मुझे फिर से मिलते सोमवार को। देखो तो भैया।
हाँ ठीक है
मिलते सोमवार को।
तो कल घूमेंगे।
तो अभी कितने दिन और क्लासेस होंगी सर? सर कितने दिन और क्लासेस रहेंगी? मतलब मंडे को होंगी तो मंडे ट्यूसडे वेडनेसडे होंगी?
हाँ बस मंडे ट्यूसडे होने चाहिए और 3 दिन रहेगा।
ओके थैंक यू।
तो कल तो घूम सकते हैं।
ठीक है। नमस्ते भैया।